Today I'm going to build a couple wall cabinets. I don't run a cabinet shop, I'm just a renovator, so I've got pretty limited tools. I just use a regular contractor saw, I got a miter saw, and then I use these jigs. This is a pocket hole jig from Craig. I bought this myself, nobody's paid for any of this stuff, but it's a great tool for building cabinets. This thing I picked up just a little while ago. It's a little jig for drilling shelf holes. So these two jigs, a couple drills, some bits, some screws. That's all it takes, and you can build a few cabinets. First episode of doing the laundry room renovation. I've done a quick drawing here. I got to do this in pieces. I've got a 8-month-old baby at home, so I can't really just rip out the whole laundry room, bang it out, and put it all back. I still got a lot of work to do, so this is going to be kind of a side project for me. So what I need to do is get these upper cabinets done so we can get some stuff off the floor, start getting organized. So I'm going to build these two carcasses with a couple shelves for now. And then I'll take everything out. I'm going to order a new countertop and put a sink cabinet in here. I've just purchased 12-inch rips of MDF that's taped on the one edge just to make my life easier. And I'll just put a solid 5/8 back in there. I'm not going to use any special joinery. I'm just going to screw everything together. The one cabinet will be seen on the outside on the gables, so I'm going to use a Craig jig for this guy here, and that's it. Keep it simple. I'm not going to be putting a ton of weight in there, so we don't need to overdo it. So let's get started. I got my two gables. I want to put 2 shelves in each cabinet, so I need to drill some holes for the shelves. I have this jig from Craig, and they're popular for their pocket holes, but they do lots of cabinet stuff too. Now this is a 32mm hole configuration, but I don't need to adjust the shelves that close, so I'm going to do 64mm, so I'm going to skip 2. The other thing I'm going to do, this thing isn't very good for centering it up, so I'm going to get the one set and then make a little jig, and then I can use the jig for all of them, and then everything's going to be good. There's going to be 2 shelves, top and a bottom, so you don't have to go too crazy with this, but what I do is just divide this by 3. It's a 34-inch gable, so divided by 3 you're going to get 11.33. I just rounded up to 11.5. I'm going to measure down 11.5, measure up to 11.5, and that's going to be just the center of my shelf. It's not perfect, but it's just cabinets. So anyways, I'll get the one set, get everything ready, make a little jig for it, and then I should be able to do all 4 of these gables pretty quick. Okay, I'm just gonna take a square, make a line here, then I'll just eyeball it on the one I want centered, just like that. So I need a block at 8 3/8. That on there, line it up nice, clamp it down. Just like that. Now, should be good. Just drill this out. Lines up with my line. Okay. There's a depth stop in the back of this jig to get everything set. You can always double check it. Should be good. That's the front side all done. So now I got to do the same thing and do the back holes. I'm just gonna take this stop out of here somehow. Just like that, same thing. Done. I can buy these pre-drilled. They have every 32 mil, the front and the back, they have holes in them for shelves. But I find them, they don't look as nice. There's just too many holes. You don't need that many holes. The other problem is when you're cutting these, you have to reference from the hole, and it gets a little bit tricky. Also, the other thing is I was able to get one gable and the top and the bottom out of one piece. If I bought the ones with the holes, I don't want the holes in the top and the bottom. I'm going to get a lot more waste. So this just works out, and it's really not that tough to do the shelf holes. So hey, with that jig it works really great. So anyways, let's move on to the next step. On my drawing, this side here is going to be seen. So my one left gable is going to be visible, so I'm going to use pocket hole jig, same thing from Craig, so that you don't see it. But the rest of the cabinets, I'm just going to screw them together. Be plenty strong enough. With this 5/8 stuff, you got to pre-drill everything, and I'm finding lately I just like to use drywall screws to put it together. They're nice and thin. They got good grab. So drywall screws for wood seem to work the best, but pre-drill is the main thing. So first thing, I'm just going to look at my two gables. I think I'll use this one. I'm just going to label it. So half of 5/8 is 5/16, so we want to go about 5/16. 3/8 is for 3/4 stuff. Draw a line. Use a bit that's got a pilot hole and a countersink on it. Some people go through and measure this stuff all out. I'm not going to bother. It's never going to see it, so I just eyeball it. I'm going to try and do 4 and spread them equally as I can. Not too close to the edge. Keep it back about an inch, so it doesn't split. So 2 of my tops and bottoms, one side's going to have Craig drill jig holes put in it, pocket holes, so that I don't see screws at the end. It's my pocket hole jig. So I'm going to do one top and one bottom. Now one side's going to be a little chippier than the other, so I want to have the chippy side on the inside. So this will be my bottom. Alright, 4 pockets on that side. Okay, and then this is going to be my bottom. And then this one here, that's the nice side, so this will be the top. Oops, top. pockets there. So it's pretty easy to work this thing. It's got some gauges here on the side. It'll just tell you the depth of the bit, and it's got a few little pockets in it. Again, same thing. I don't really think anybody's going to notice if these aren't perfect. So I know I won't. So I just kind of put them in. Okay, just like that. And the bit goes in. Sure it's lined up. What I usually do is just line the jig up at each end. Time to assemble these. So I just use drywall screws. I find it works really well. There's screws made for melamine, but it's just what I got, so why not? So we'll start with this guy here. Basically, all you do is you want to line it up. Some guys will even take pin nailers and pin this in just to hold it or put a clamp on. I'm usually pretty good to get it started here. Now you want to try and get your fronts lined up the best you can, but otherwise just like that. You don't want to crank on them too much because they'll strip. Just get it nice and snug. I'm using 1 1/4 screws. You can go a little bit bigger, but I find the bigger you go, the more likely you are to split this out. Next step is getting backs cut. I do a solid back. Sometimes you can do bars and put a thinner back in there, but then you're cutting dados and everything, and I'm just too lazy for that stuff. So this works pretty good, but it makes the cabinets a little bit bigger. So 3/4, that's what I cut them all to by. All right, for the backs, I got the one cabinet that's got the finished head, so I can't screw from the sides. And I also don't want to see all the screws on the bottom. So I think I'm just gonna do pocket holes for this whole thing, and that'll kind of help it suck it together. And the pocket holes are super strong. Should work out good. Okay, nice snug fit. A little chippy on that one, but that's okay. I'll touch that up. It's the problem with this melamine, it chips real easy. All set. So for the shelves, was the same stock material, so I'm gonna have to rip off the thickness of the back. This back's 5/8 and the Craig kind of pushes it up a little bit, so I'm gonna take off 3/4 off all the backs of the shelves, and we should be good to go screw them to the wall.